is our seniors that will be back on your screens. Qualifying heat C versus E for these drivers. So Miami event of the year. This is a spectacular show. Toby Gale then on your screen, the 220. They're in that Birrell. Maybe not the day of racing he would have wanted. Yesterday we saw a big moment into turn number 1 for Gale when that rear hub came off. I think probably a scary moment. Luckily all was fine. There was a bigger enough run-off at turn number 1 for him to get away from it pretty unbothered.
Those engines, they make their way out onto the track. Let's take you through the full starting lineup for Senior X30 qualifying heat at C versus E. Toby Gale and Daniel Britz on the front row of the grid. Angelo Melli and Andy Rattel, double duties for Rattel on row number 2. Hugo Marti and Alexis Janale go from row number 3. Row 4 sees Aaron Garcia. George Edgar there as well has deployed some new tyres on the left-hand side. We already saw Jack Butley have a great race after he deployed tyres on the left-hand side. Could this be a similar story for George Edgar as well? Row number 5 we'll see Eloy Gilliday and Arthur Huang. Huang also brand new tyres, but on the right-hand side of the driver for Belgium. Row 6 sees Santiago Alves and Xavi Suarez on row 6. There will see Otto Pukkanen and Bertram Saxe on row number 7. Row 8 sees Aaron Vida and Kian Gauchi, and again, more tyres being deployed on that row.
Row number 9, part 2 of your field is started by Spain's Adrian Mestinas alongside Kevin Lantinga. From row number 10, your top 20 is two-time IWF Junior X30 champion of Gabriel Stilp with Elias Lehmann. And from row number 11, we have Lewis Bird and Sam Lewis, who has decided to go new tyre. Row number 12, we have Robin Happening, who has gone new boots as well. He's starting alongside Bernardo Pinto, who has made the same decision. 13, we have Louis Martinez with Harrison Whitcomb. Shortly behind on 14, Zivez Riz with Mike Gabrich. 15, Rafael Reina with William Lundbo. And from row number 16, your penultimate row of your field, Andre Dabia and Maxim Doffler. Your final and 17th row of your grid, 34 drivers in total for this one. We have Christian Fuente with Tick Sum. Both drivers, apologies. Christian Fuente has decided to go new tyres. Tick Sum has thought against, still is deciding to hold on to that rubber for a later point in today.
Indeed. Right then. Field heading down the back straight. Last chance to get temperatures into those tyres. And for Toby Gale and Daniel Britz, the two teammates here, line astern, next to each other here for the start. Let's see what they can do. Will they be able to work together and try and break away from the rest of the field? Andy Rattel, though, will make it challenging, I'm sure. So will Angelo Melli, I should say. But again, keep your eye on George Edgar here from Great Britain. Those new tyres, he's the highest ranked driver, one brand new set of tyres on the left-hand side. Keep an eye on it as they enter into the tram lines. We are lights out, fight on in Senior X30 down towards turn number 1. Good start for the inside row, better start for the outside. Daniel Britz trying to go the long way around the outside to try and stick with his teammate. He has slotted into 3rd. So he stayed there. It's a good start for Angelo Melli as he goes through. Bit of drama in the background there. I think Arthur Huang and Santiago Alves have had a bit of a comings together. There is the 204 machine. That is not Kian Gauchi. Well, that's Sazanka that's had moments. It is the 284. That's Santiago Alves, sorry, who's had the moment, as well as Raul Martinez also for the ECK Motorsport team. Having dramas. This one, though, is Gale and Melli. 1-2 as they try to break away into that chicane. Melli looking to the inside, not wasting any time whatsoever. Takes the race lead on the opening lap of the race.
Melli nice and late on the brakes there in towards the chicane. Uses some bravery and confidence to just go in on Toby Gale and snatch that race lead away relatively unbothered. Early retirements then going into the pit lane. That is Pinto. That will go no further. Pulls it in and you could see some visible damage there on that front nose cone. Britz now looking like he's being challenged once more, this time by Andy Rattel, who's on a double campaign this weekend in both Senior X30 and the S125 class. As now changes continuously going on this time. Whoa, for P2. On the inside by Aaron Garcia gets the jump. As now it looks like Toby Gale is starting to get shuffled behind slightly.
Toby Gale's in the lead. He's taken the lead back from Melli on that lap, and now that is Garcia getting past Melli. Melli is the one that's going backwards now. Rattel, the next one on the attack. And at this moment, we'll keep a close eye on that one. You can see how they've all slotted into place now. But Aaron Garcia looking very strong on this one. Oh, Genele did not have a good one on that lap. He's dropped now down 12 places. He's still inside the top 20, but down in P18, not the start we wanted. Gabe still on the charge. So is Lewis Bird, both of them on a 10-place gain. Now you're seeing other drivers as well pushing the way forward. Raul Martinez back on the charge as well. Another 10-place gain as they push forward. Drivers making their way down in towards turn 11 now. And again, once more, you're starting to see that little bit of a breakaway here as Garcia senses the opportunity for the move down the inside at turn number 12. Beautifully delivered. That's the Spaniard in the lead now.
Nicely set up there by Garcia, who's just letting that kart underneath him really dance round this track. You can see on the front end, he's not being really aggressive with the steering. You don't see him doing loads of lateral movement, and that's something that comes into play with that tyre preservation for these drivers as well. Garcia had great success this year in the Miami Euro. He would be a favourite. He would be a star going into this year's IWF. Gale there, still very much on the back bumper, and tyre advantage for Gale. We mentioned earlier on, this is that DNF yesterday with the hub coming off. He's got 3 or 4 laps of tread extra compared to Garcia, and that's why you're not seeing Garcia probably push away as quickly as he would like. He's still under some threat there by Gale, who's trying to hunt his way down for that race lead once more. Andy Rattel there, P3, had a heat win earlier on this weekend and now sits quite comfortably. Hasn't managed to close the gap up to this duo at all really over this lap, and the pace between your top 3 is actually that Rattel now is faster than the two ahead. Are the two ahead, going to start to hold each other up within this race?
Well, I don't think they're going to hold each other up on this one, but I think, like you're saying, the pace isn't fully there for them. Rattel with that clean air in third place, I think is just sussing out what is going to happen here. I think, is he going to wait for Gale to go for the move? Is he going to think, is Garcia going to break away? If he sees Garcia breaking away, I think he'll do something about it. Rattel clearly is showing he has got the pace up there, as so is Arthur Wang actually as well. Fastest lap of the race. Still really pushing through in this one. 11th place gain. This is a really strong performance from Stilp on this second day of qualifying heats.
Stilp then as well, talking of tyre advantage, could maybe be one of the drivers who had that. Chain came off in time qualifying, didn't get to complete those laps, so maybe a couple of laps extra worth of rubber for the two-time junior IWF champion. As now we've got change for the race lead. Toby Gale out there in the front now, pushes Garcia into the hands of Andy Rattel, who's still got Hugo Marti there close for company in P4, turning into a bit of a quad out there in the front, and a bit of a 5 here for your last spots inside of the top 10. Girardet there, still Melli and George Edgar as well. Edgar around the outside of this part of the track is being hustled now and swaps out for position between him and Daniel Britt. But Edgar on a first senior X30 weekend looking incredibly strong.
Indeed, and those fresh tyres that we were talking about earlier on for George Edgar seemingly not coming alive in this first part of the race, but we have seen him now push forward. So let's see if that changes over the course of this one. Brits has had the real drama in this one. It's down to 10th place on this one, Nicole. The driver who started on the front row of the grid, not in a position where I think you would like it. Gale's back in the lead now. Garcia in second. Rattel back on the scene now. It is a 1-2-3, but through that chicane, gotta say, Garcia and Gale look just that little bit quicker on the power.
War down the inside goes Garcia on Toby Gale, so takes back that race lead for MDC once more. Gale unbothered and still glued to that back bumper, as now Garcia decides to go defensive into towards turn number 11. That's going to open things up for Andy Rattel, who goes round the outside of Toby Gale. Doesn't manage to pull it off, but does invite Marty into this pack as well. You know, talking of Andy Rattel, I've got something in my mind as we go through this day of racing. He's competing in 2 classes today. At what stage, if he does he start to fade away with that driver fitness? Because doing this amount of racing and testing throughout a weekend must be incredibly difficult for Rattel there sat in P3. These 5 drivers then head through this stage of the race glued to each other. Garcia from Gale, from Rattel, Juriday and Marty. Now nothing in between these drivers as they head through and exit the first sector, still led by Garcia, who's got 2/10 to his name. But I would say Gale is still maybe within lunging distance.
Indeed, 2/10 to his name, and of course a title as well in 2025. Garcia has been absolutely rapid this season and is continuing that trend here right now. Whitcomb under investigation for potentially cutting the track. That's another bit of bad news for the team that's already seemingly struggling this weekend, but hopefully they can pick up that pace the second half of the week. Eyes on this as they go through. Gale on the attack while he's saying, let's go. Garcia, they were having a full conversation there, full-blown conversation. On the start-finish straight.
You.
Yeah, no, exactly. Trying to push their way forward. I don't think Garcia wants to do what Gale wants to do on this one, so that's quite an interesting thing.
No, Garcia out there in the front. This is his game. It's the Garcia race, being the race leader. He doesn't want to do what Gale, wants him to, because he's probably going to be thinking, what's to stop you from trying to throw a dummy, trying to get me to trust you, and then trying to pop in a move? I'm not going to compete with you. I'm out in the front. I'm holding on to this one, and he's doing just that as they head down towards the back pit straight, 135 metres before they go really committed run just over this rumble strip into the final chicane section. Garcia still holding on to it, and these 2 drivers, Garcia and Gale, despite being distracted with communicating with each other, have now released themselves from the hands of Juriday, who rounds out your top 3. Under threat though by Rattel. Gabe Stilp now breaks inside the sharp end of the order. Stilp 13 places to his name, just to sit outside of the top 5.
That poor curb there on the exit of turn 3 and 4.
Repainting.
Oh, it needs repainting every heat. On this one, this is still going to be a close fight. Garcia is actually working with, I think, Gale on this one. They've not really battled at all. Yes, okay, it seemingly looks like they're having a disagreement in their discussion, but maybe they've come to a compromise and have continued that trend to push forward. However, when it comes to this stage of the race, I suspect something may change, because Garcia goes full defence mode there on Toby Gale. They do see the last lap board this time around, and now you're going to have to keep an eye on the likes of Juriday, who's there just behind. A 6th place gain. Juriday has snuck his way through right now. There into 3rd place. He might actually have a chance, especially if Garcia commits to these defensive postures.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you there, Anthony. As Juriday is put under threat now by Andy Rattel, who also tails round with Mestinos, who's gone a bit under the radar within this race. We've not actually mentioned Rattel now back down the inside to get inside of the top 3 for a number of times this weekend. He has done moves like that. He has got himself into the sharp end of the field. Garcia then looks over his shoulder. He knows that the Birrell is right there pushing him around, and he can probably feel the pressure, the vibration on the back end of the kart, because they are glued to each other down that back straight, side by side over the start finish. But it is Garcia that takes it. It's Garcia's race, not by much, only by 0.032 between him and Toby, but a job well done once more for the driver who is your 2025 Euro Series champion and who is a contender as we head through these heats.
Indeed, a nice smart race there for Aaron Garcia. A win from P7, the 4th row of the grid. A great drive there for the Spaniard, and of course this year's IAME Euro champion. Certainly one to watch in the latter half of the weekend, as he now steps up into 7th in the points. Right at the end there, drama did happen, unfortunately. There, Yannick Gabrick out of the race. And that is a big shame there right at the very end. You don't want to see it. Did manage to cross the line by the looks of it, so that's broken down over the line there. That's a very unusual one. There is your provisional qualifying heat classifications. Garcia taking the win ahead of Gale, Rattel from Marti, Girardet from Messienes, Brits from Stilp, Melli from Vida, Bird from Edgar, Pukkanen from Le Mans, Lantinga pushing up through the order. This is all drivers who had those fresher tyres on board. Then you saw the likes of many more as well